Welcome to phase 5 of Pen to Profit. In this phase, we are gonna do something very different. We are gonna be building, the purpose of this phase is for us to build an email machine. Now, what is that? What is an email machine? Well, you have probably seen it before. Majority of the email marketing systems out there, they follow a very similar linear structure, which is on Monday I send an email, on Wednesday I send an R1, on Friday I send an R1. Varies from 1 to 3, maybe 4 emails a week majority of the times, but it's a very linear structure. On Monday, I'm gonna try to sell you this way. On Wednesday, I'm gonna try to sell it this way. And on Friday, I'm gonna promote a different product maybe. And then on the next Monday, I do it the same thing over and over and over again, always promoting products, always having a different approach, a different angle, but at the end, the goal is always the same, is to promote your product. Then sometimes they get a little bit more sophisticated. They mix it up. They say, on Monday, I'm gonna send value. On Wednesday, I'm gonna send a promotion. And then on Saturday, I'm gonna send a testimonial, for example. And then on Monday, again, I'm gonna send value, promotion, testimonial, value, promotion, testimonial, and keep doing that over and over again. Although this is better, definitely way better than just promoting every single day, it's still a very unidimensional approach to email marketing. Why is that? Because you're always working on a single line, on a single layer, if you will. It's very sequential. You have this email, then this email, then this email, and it just keeps going forever without an end with just one layer. Our goal here is to do something very different than that. Why is that? Because there's a problem when you're promoting that way. The problem is that people get used to it. People know that on Monday you're gonna send value, and then on Wednesday, you're gonna send an offer, and on Saturday, you're gonna send a testimonial. So they stop opening your emails. Maybe they just open on Monday because they know that on Monday, it's gonna be the value, and then on Wednesday, you're gonna try to sell them something. That's not a very good scenario, by the way. Majority of the times, they just stop opening your emails altogether or just unsubscribe from your email list because they know that at the end of the day, the only reason you're sending this content on Monday is so that you can sell them on Wednesday. And they pick that up very, very quickly. They get pissed off with that, and you end up losing your goodwill. Email marketing is all about the goodwill of your list. It doesn't matter if you have 1 million subscribers to your email list if they don't open your emails. If you have 1 million subscribers and your open rates are 10, 15%, it's way better for you to have a list that's 1/3, maybe 1/4 of that, but one where your mail open rates are 40, 50, 60%. I'm gonna show you an example here of one specific mail for people subscribing to our mail list from Cold Traffic that's getting 65% open rates. This is pretty much unheard of. It's a very, very high open rate. And the reason we can do that is because we have built this system, this email engine that allows you to sell people, make a lot of money from our email list while not sacrificing our goodwill. In fact, it allows us to increase our goodwill with our list while selling them something. And that's pretty much the holy grail of email marketing. And that's what I'm gonna be teaching you how to do on this entire phase. So now let's get into it. You see, the problem with majority of the email marketing systems out there is that they try to sell as hard as they can, as quickly as they can, because they know that one thing is gonna happen. People are gonna open the first email, and then let's say they get 40% open rates on that email. They know that on the second email, they're gonna get 20% open rates. And then on the third one, they're gonna get 15% open rates, and then 12, and then 10%. They know that their open rates are going down. So what they try to do is to sell as hard as they can on the very first 1, 2, 3 mails of that email system, of that email sequence. The problem with that is that by doing so, you're actually hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself. Why is that? Because the more you sell very, very quickly before you build a relationship with your list, before you build a relationship with your reader, the less people are going to want to read and want to open your emails. And the fact is, at any given point in time when you run a campaign, in a very, very, very best case scenario, only 10 to 15% of the people on your email list who are reading your emails are actually going to buy. And this is an extremely good conversion rate. Very, very good. Average is 1 to 5% depending on the campaign. Let's call it 15% conversion rate just for the sake of this example. Even if you manage to accomplish that, an extremely high conversion rate on any type of campaign that you're running, it still means that 85%, 90%, 95% of your customer list, of the people who are reading your emails there, they are not buying. So you're alienating them by sending those emails, especially if that email doesn't hit them on the right timing, if they are not prepared to receive that, if they are not expecting to receive that, if you haven't framed them before sending that promotion, and more importantly, if you haven't asked for permission to sell them in something. The key here is to always ask for permission, is to always be able to identify and ask people to raise their hands before you sell them through email. Because by doing that, you avoid losing that goodwill. You avoid pissing off the 85%, the 95% of people who make up your email list, who might buy in the future. Maybe they'll buy 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 90 days from now. Maybe they'll buy a year from now. But majority of the sales are gonna happen in the long term. So you don't want to be sacrificing your email list on the short term, trying to sell as much as you can on the very first email, on the very second email, because you know your open rates are going down. Because by doing so, you are sacrificing your long-term sales, and majority of your sales, those 85% of your sales, are gonna be coming on the long term. If you survey your audience, you're gonna see that majority of the sales, they don't buy right away. It takes a long time for them to get indoctrinated into your world, to get used to you, to create this relationship. And then maybe after 3 months, 6 months, they have been following you. Then they get into your email list. And then after a month on your email list, that's when they buy. And sometimes it's way more than that. Sometimes it could be a year, it could be more than that. But the fact is, majority of the sales happen on the long term. And by trying to sell right away, you're alienating the most important chunk of audience that you have inside of your email list. The 95% of people who would potentially buy later on down the line, they're not ready yet. And by sending them a message, a sales message in the wrong timing, you're pissing them off, you're alienating them, and you're losing the opportunity to make a sale in the future. And we want to avoid that. And by doing so, you're preserving the open rates of your email list. You're protecting the open rates, because what you want people to do is open your emails, read them, get value out of them, and be expecting to receive the next one. Be in a position where they cannot wait to receive your next email, because that's when your open rates, instead of going down, start actually going up. Yes, that's actually possible. It can go up. So this is what we're gonna be accomplishing in this phase with this system that we're gonna be building together. Now, let me explain how the system works. And in order to do so, I wanna jump into my iPad here so I can have some drawings and you can understand how our typical email marketing system works and how our email engine here works and how they are different from each other. So let's get into it. As I said, majority of the email marketing systems out there, they are very unidimensional. Why is that? Because they look like this. This little circle here is one email. So they send one email, then they send another, then they send another one, then they send another one, and so on and so forth. They always keep sending on a very unidimensional way, moving forward in one layer. They keep sending emails over and over and over, always trying to sell people. Again, using different angles, and that's fine, but it's still very unidimensional. What we do here is very different. Our email engine is built on two main parts. First, we have our relationship machine. So what does that mean? Every single time someone joins our email sequence, they're gonna be welcomed by this specific relationship building series, this relationship machine, that the sole purpose is to build a relationship, to indoctrinate them into our world, to welcome them into our own world, into our own life, and by doing so, to create authority, to create rapport, and in general, to create a relationship. It's not to sell, but it's to prepare people for the sale later on down the line. So how does that work? Every single time someone joins our email list, they're gonna get those emails. It's gonna be an email sequence that can be anywhere from 5 emails. I recommend going no lower than that. 5 emails is what it takes to accomplish this relationship building effort that we have here. So you're gonna have 5 emails, and once you finish with those 5 emails, you can have 5, 7, 10. Some people I have seen having upwards of 30. I think 30 is a little bit too much, but I would say the sweet spot is anywhere between 5 and 7 in my opinion. So after they go through this relationship building series, this is a one-off, by the way. Every single person that gets into your email list gets this specific series. It's always the same. It doesn't matter when they join. It doesn't matter what time, what period of the year. They're gonna get the same email sequence because that's an automation. It's automated based on behavior. The behavior of them joining our email list triggers this specific automation, and I'm going to show you later on how to do that inside email marketing tools. But just know that this is an automation. It is not a campaign that I write once and send once, and I'm going to say, oh, it's going to be sent next Sunday. No. This, it doesn't matter when it's being sent, because it's going to be sent based on behavior when people join our email list. So they're going to go through this. And then after they go through this, they are going to get added to our specific newsletter, or just, I don't like to call it newsletter because I think that's very outdated. I just like to call the weekly sequence. They're going to be added to the weekly sequence, and that means that this is the same sequence that majority of the people have. Is the weekly sequence. They receive anywhere from 1 to 3 mails a week. I don't recommend doing more than that, only for specific promotions, and I'm going to cover that. But the way we do this is very, very different, because here we have 2 goals. The first one is for us to keep building this relationship, is to keep adding value to our audience, to keep giving them insights, to keep giving them those epiphany moments that create those insights that really connect people together with us, but also to set the hook for potential sales. So what we're doing here is very simple. We're going to have, let's say this is a content, this is a value email. It's on Monday, just whenever it is, you're going to be sending that. Then after that, you're going to send another one. Let's say this one is also a value email, and they can be connected. I really like to do that. Majority of the people, they approach email as a unit that lives and exists alone. Everything starts inside that email and everything ends inside that email. I don't necessarily like to do that. I like to have cliffhangers. I like to have open loops that connect the emails together, so people know that there's a sequence. They know that there's gonna be a next episode for that. I like to have those serialized narratives, almost as if it is a TV series, because then people are expecting to receive another email, and that's when you have those increasing open rates, and that's when you really can tap into the power of the system, because emails in this system, they are not a unit that lives alone. They are a little unit, the smallest unit we have here in the system, but they all are connected together. They all interact with each other, and they affect how our email marketing system functions as a whole. Every single email has a purpose and has a goal here, and you can take advantage of that to create serialized narratives here. So for example, I could have on those 2 emails, I could have them both talking about the same topic and be part 1 and part 2, because then people are expecting to read part 2. And then after that, you don't necessarily need to do that every single time. By the way, you can have one-off emails, that's totally fine. That's the purpose of having those weekly emails, but know that they don't need to be one-offs. But here's where the important part comes. After that, let's say I send this 2-part email series, and then after that, I'm gonna send another email. And this email is gonna be a hook for our second part of the system. That's not the relationship building part of the system. It's not the relationship machine. Everything we have seen so far is relationship machine. And now this relationship machine here is going to create a hook, is going to create a trigger for our sales machine. So how do we do that? The next email we're going to have in here, it's going to be a different color, because it's going to be a hook for our sales machine. What does that mean? This email is going to have a call to action, and people can click on this call to action. Let's say, for example, I'm inviting people to be part of an event I'm running. So I'm sending this one off. And if people don't click on this email, it's totally fine. We just keep going to the next email in the sequence here, to the next weekly email. If they don't click, it's totally fine. Now, if they click, they are gonna get added to another automation where we're gonna have the sales engine part of our machine here taken over. How does that work? Simple. We are gonna have the invitation email. If they click, then they receive, let's say it's a launch event, it's 3 videos, and then you have a sale at the end. If they click there, they say, yes, I want to be part of this event. I want to receive those videos. If they do, and only if they do, you're going to send them the videos. Okay, so here's video 1, then here is video 2, and then here is video 3. That's it. If people don't click here, they never receive those videos, right? Now, why is that so important and why is that so powerful? Because here on video 3, we're going to have a sales page. We're going to be selling a product. And if people don't receive the videos, they never knew we were selling a product in the first place. So if they are not interested in the topic of the launch, they are not going to even know that there was a product being sold in the first place, because they are here. They just skipped They skip that email here, they read it, maybe they open it, they just didn't click it. Maybe they didn't even open it, and that's totally fine. We just keep going to the next email, which can be content again, which can be value again, whatever the next email is going to be. But every once in a while, we are going to have these hooks that we make people go through. And if they're interested, these hooks take them into a sales campaign that I'm going to explain very in detail how to do, how to structure those sales campaigns. But what happened here is, in this specific example, we have the 3 videos, we sell people in the 3rd video. If they don't buy, we have another thing that happens here. If they don't buy right away, they get added to another sequence, which is the 4th layer that we have here in our mail engine. And if they don't buy here, they get added to another sequence, the 4th layer of our mail machine here, of our mail engine, which is a countdown sequence, a simple countdown sequence that say you have 3 days left to buy, and then the next one you have 2 days left to buy, and here's why you should buy today, going over an objection. And here you have the last one saying, today is the last day to buy. If you have any questions, just let me know. This is also a perfect opportunity for you to have a one-to-one type of contact, a more manual approach. If you have an SDR team, for example, like we do have here in Educate, we can have the SDR team reaching out to every single person here, or we can have the sequence asking people to reach out to us, and then we have the SDRs actually messaging them and actually responding to those messages, either on email, or we can have a book a call sequence here, whatever the call to action may be. We have a more humanized approach here. Why is that? Because this is the lowest hanging fruit that we have in here. The people that are in this step here, they have gone through our entire relationship building series. They have read the emails here, the content, the weekly newsletter, the ongoing mails that we have. Then they have received this hook email here that invites them to be part of this event or whatever it is, and they have accepted the invitation, they have clicked, they have raised their hand saying, yes, please send me that, I'm interested in that, I want to be part of that, please send me this. Which means that when you send that to them, the likelihood of them actually open that email is way, way higher than just by sending to your entire mail list. So that's what we're doing here. And once they have raised their hand saying that, yes, I want to receive that, then we send video 1, they watch video 1, they click here, watch video 1, they watch video 2, click here, watch video 2, then they click here and watch video 3. They saw the offer, they know there's an offer, they know the card is open for, let's say, 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is. They know about all of that. They are indoctrinated into this entire sequence. They are already interested on the offer because we know they have watched, we know they have clicked, we know they are interested. We just don't know why they haven't bought yet. So that's the perfect time for you to have some scarcity here with those emails, having some urgency, and most importantly, is a perfect opportunity to have a one-on-one opportunity to reach out to them, because here you don't really know why they haven't bought. Maybe they're just having problems when trying to pay. So it's the perfect opportunity for you to go in there and ask them, hey, I have seen you shown interest in this specific product, in this specific offer. May I ask you if you had any problems checking out, if you need any help with anything, if you have any questions? This is the perfect opportunity for you to do that. And you see how powerful that is, because we are having those very deep layers where we're selling people, we're adding them to different automations, we're adding them to different sales campaigns, to the different parts of our sales engine here. But if they don't say they're interested in that, they'll never even know that happened. So we're not killing the goodwill of our list by doing that, because we are not selling. If people are not clicking this, they have no idea there's even a sale. If you think about it, even if people watch video 1 and 2 and for some reason they're not interested anymore, they say, okay, this is not for me, maybe it's not the right time now, it's totally fine. They're going to get back here after that, which is totally fine. They're going to keep receiving emails, keep opening your emails, but they have said they're interested, they have watched episode 1, they have watched episode 2, and even then, they don't know that there is a sale in the first place because the sale is on episode 3, right? This is very, very powerful because you're creating goodwill, you're indoctrinating your audience, you're creating value for them, and you're only selling them on the right moment, the right people who have demonstrated interest in being sold. So as I said, this is how you not only keep the goodwill of your audience, but you actually increase it over time, and you actually increase your goodwill even when you're selling, because if you're selling, you're solving a problem for them. You're solving a pain point. You're providing them with a solution. And if that solution works, they're going to be happy about it. And that's going to create even more goodwill in your audience towards you, even when you're selling. That's how powerful the system here is. And now I'm going to show you how the system works and how we can build this first, I'm gonna have a module that covers the relationship side of things. So here, the relationship building series that we have, and also the weekly emails that go out here. And then on the third module here, I'm gonna show you how you use these campaigns here and the different types of campaigns you can take advantage here on your sales machine in order to create this email engine that makes a lot of money and also creates relationships and doesn't sacrifice the long-term sales. In fact, it facilitates them and makes you a lot more money on the long term. So that was the first part of our email engine module here. And now on the next module, I'm gonna go over the relationship machine and how to create one. So see you there.